do boards optimise their effectiveness, and what are the things that they need to think about to make sure they're getting it right? Tim Rowley of University of Toronto and Director of the International Directors Programme at INSEAD shares his thoughts on these key issues. To set the scene, Ryan McCarthy tells us a little about KPMG's Board Leadership Centre.
So last year, when we were thinking about launching the Board Leadership Centre in Ireland, we knew that there was a demand for a forum around board effectiveness and board performance. What we didn't quite know at the time was the appetite for board leadership content, actionable insights, and knowledge for boards in terms of how they add value to the companies where they act.
We asked Tim Rowley to tell us about some of the obstacles to achieving board effectiveness.
I've done some research work that shows the biggest obstacles to board effectiveness. I think the one that does the most damage is the information gap between the CEO and the board. I think another one is when board members act like managers. I always say you can put your nose in the tent, but you got to keep your hands out. And the final one is how you spend your time in the board meeting. Many board meetings are dominated by presentations by management. It's hard to get a good discussion. It's hard to build a team when management is spending most of the time presenting.
So, what do we need from board members?
One of the things that gets in the way is when board members believe that they're on the board to state their opinion. What we need from board members is the ability to get in a room with the information with other people and make a decision that is better than any individual, even the smartest individual in the room. We used to talk a lot about what's the merits of diversity in the boardroom versus having a whole bunch of people that really knew each other and trusted each other. That's gone out the window. You know, diversity is known to be a valuable component of good decision making. But in that, we've given up a little bit of alignment or having similar people in the room. What we need to do is we need to have the discussion to whom we owe a duty. It's amazing how often in a board people have different views of that. Or they're thinking about different shareholders. So the one that bought the stock at $10, the one that bought it at $80, and the one that bought it at $70, all think differently about the company. The goal is independence of thought. While regulators look at independence, and I think it's important they do, whether a board is functioning independently and able to assert themselves, that's something that can only be judged inside the boardroom.
So what should current and aspiring board members bear in mind when considering a potential board position?
People that are thinking about accepting an appointment should think first about who's the chair, who's the chair, who's the chair, and then everything else after that is important but not as important. Who's the CEO? Can you help the CEO? Do you think this is someone that you can mentor? Is the organization one where you have some expertise where you can add in? Is there a role for you relative to the other board members? What are you bringing that's unique to the table? Is it going to be fun? You need to have a passion. You need to want to be there in that room. And some really practical things. When are the board meetings? Does it fit into your calendar? Do you have the time? I always say we don't want to rent a board person's whole brain for a couple of days every quarter. What we like to do is rent a little piece of their brain for the entire year.
And finally, what are the considerations in securing the right people for a board?
I would get someone that's busy, but not maybe the top quality. I would sacrifice that before I would sacrifice time commitment.
Board members face a range of often complex challenges. To sum up, Ryan McCarthy tells us some of the benefits of KPMG's Board Leadership Centre.
We in KPMG set up the Board Leadership Centre to do two things. First of all, to bring the best KPMG thought leadership and experts to the board community, but also to bring the best international experts and global subject matter experts to help encourage thought, to provoke thought, to challenge board members in terms of performing better with the companies they act for.